Well, gentlemen. It's been a while. It's been a long time, but I'm back and I'm here on the show with you guys this week. Thank you for holding down the fort while I was away doing my other job stuff, and you did a great job, and the show's done a great job. I've loved all the content I've seen from you guys, and the back and forth just shit talk, I guess would be the right word, between you two. We're excited for when we get Davinsky back on here when he gets back from vacation himself. So uh, we're excited. But nonetheless, welcome into the putback. It's our flagship NBA/basketball show here at Stadium Rant, and we are proud to present it. We are on episode 4 already. It feels like we're still just kind of getting started with this, and yeah, we technically are, but we're 4 episodes in and we're having a great time doing it. So thank you for tuning in. Nolan Brooks, Dravin Murty, and Jack McKinnon with you here on the putback. And before we get started, let's not forget that here at Stadium Rant, our audio department is dedicated to giving every team and league the deserved coverage that they need. So make sure to go check out stadiumrant.com. For all of our written content. We have stuff coming out daily. Dravin and Jack, both heavy writers for the website, so make sure to go check out their content and check out all of our team-centric podcasts as all of our other original shows that we got going on here at Stadium Rant. But nonetheless, lots of stuff to look at. Go buy some merch, all that good stuff. But that's not what we're here to talk about. We're not here to talk about merch as much as we want to. We're still about elbow deep in Olympics competition here, fellas, and Team USA men's basketball is really starting to pick up the pace, and they're looking pretty good. And that's what we'll be talking about for most of the show, but let's start it off real quick. We had some big-time contracts really get signed off on, and they're for big money. A couple of them were for the Cavaliers. Those were the 2 biggest ones recently. So let's talk about them. I kind of just want to get your guys' opinion on, was that too much money? Was that enough money? Was that not enough money for these 2 contracts? I'll start off with the smaller one here. Jared Allen, 3-year, $91 million deal to stay in Cleveland. He was already going to be there for another 2 years, and now they guarantee him for 5. And he's going to get $131 million total for the next 5 years. So lots of money coming Jared Allen's way. Dravin, I will start it with you. Where do you sit? Is this too much, just enough, or not enough money for Mr. Jared Allen and the Cavaliers?
I think Jared Allen was just enough. I think when you have a guy who's such an elite rim defender like Jared Allen, you have to be willing to pay up. And while he's not as elite on the offensive side as you wish, Isaiah Hartenstein just got more than that. And as a Knicks fan, I love Hart. I would argue that, I think Jared Allen's a lot better of a defender, especially in the paint. And if you want a top 5 paint defender, which I think he can be at times, you got to pay up. And I think 30 million or 29, whatever it comes out to be, is perfect.
Okay, Jack, how about you? Are you kind of sitting in the same boat, or do you have a bit of bad blood maybe for a Jared Allen contract?
I ain't got no problem with Jared Allen. No, that's a good contract. He was on a $20 million annually, and now they bumped it up just a little bit. Again, like he was saying, it's a top defensive guy in this league, and exactly you have to pay up. Obviously, the Cavs are in a bit of a tough spot now with their roster flexibility. Obviously, they've just paid Jared Allen. They've just paid Evan Mobley, Donovan Mitchell, and Darius Garland. Both make a ton of money. So, yeah, not a lot of room to make moves for them, but they're just hoping to stick with this core and build up together.
Yeah, and that's kind of where I'm sitting on it too, is you really didn't expect Jared Allen to also get a deal along with Mobley, and we're going to talk about that too. That's the big deal. The big contract extension we'll talk about, but you expected one or the other, and the other would have to wait a little bit. But no, they found the money for both guys, and including, like you said, Donovan Mitchell got his big payday this summer already, and Darius Garland probably has a pretty solid payday coming his way too in the near future, unless he gets traded. We could see that, but we'll see what happens with Cleveland. But with the other big one, like you said, you already hinted at it. Evan Mobley got the big payday for Cleveland. 5 year, 224 million, 30 over 36.5 million is guaranteed in parts of that deal. So big money for the young man out of USC. How are we feeling about this one? Is that too much money for him, or is this kind of right about where you want to sit for a rookie max extension? Jack, I'll start with you this time.
Yeah, like you said, it's a rookie max extension. It's kind of a standard top 3 pick. He's been showing why he was a top 3 pick, especially like Jared Allen on the defensive ends. He's one of the best help run protectors in the league, and sitting right next to Jared Allen defensively down low, that is awesome defensively for Cleveland, and they've been consistently a top 10 defense with those two down there. Yeah, it's a lot of money, especially he needs to get that offensive game back up to where it can be. Developing a 3-point shot would be huge for that. But I think there's nothing wrong with that contract either.
Yeah, absolutely. Dravin, how about you?
I thought it was a great contract. Mobley, like we said, he was a top 3 pick for a reason. He's proving why he was. He's an elite rim protector, just like Allen. He has the versatility, unlike Allen, to even go guard. I would say the 2 through 5. I'm not 100% confident he guard the 1, but like with his lankiness, but his mix of speed and defensive capabilities, it makes sense that you want to pay him. I mean, also we have no real reason to be worried about him yet. Like with there's so many players in the NBA you have to be worried about. Like Joel Embiid, hurt constantly. Paul George, hurt constantly. Jared McCain does a bunch of TikTok dances. I don't know if that's gonna be a thing. I actually love Jared McCain. I can't even say that. Tyrese Maxey, I'm putting bad voodoo on him because I hate the Sixers and something bad's gonna happen. I don't know what. Maybe that Kelly Oubre fan comes back. Who knows? But no, I had to get you back, JC. We don't let that slide. But point stands that Mobley is an elite. It already came. Joke's on you. But he's an elite rim protector who's going to be the focal point of that team for a long time. And if Garland can ever, I don't know what the problem was. He looked like he was next up for like that. There were 2 years where he looked like he was next up to be like a top 3 point guard in the NBA. And he's kind of like slowly like teetered, maybe a little bit downward, if anything. If he can figure that back out, and Mobley can be an elite pick and roll combo. And I think this was a great use of money.
Yeah, absolutely. And honestly, with Garland, I mean, it's really tough because if Donovan Mitchell doesn't go to Cleveland and gets the money that he does, Garland probably is sitting around that same amount of money to try to keep him around long term. But it's just kind of how it's rolled. You bring Donovan Mitchell in, you got to pay the big bucks for Donovan Mitchell more than you would for Darius Garland. I mean,
Donovan Mitchell's proved he can play the 1, though.
Exactly.
I would much rather trust moving Mitchell over to a 1 and then just having one of like you have Karis LeVert, you have Agbaji. Is he there?
Ochai is in Toronto now.
Oh no, I'm thinking of Okoro. Solid defensive piece. You can stick at the 2. Like that gives you a lot of flexibility where you can run a bigger lineup that's still elite defensively. And you don't have to pay Darius Garland because you tapped in. You say, I don't want anyone to score on the paint. Don't pay Darius Garland then. Darius Garland's going to want a lot of money. Like, I think he'll probably end up getting 35 to 40 mil a year, reasonably with how contracts are going. I don't think that's a crazy estimate for a young point guard who's shown flashes. Somebody will take that risk, but I wouldn't do it if I was Cleveland.
Yeah, and I mean, there were even rumors that Garland could be traded to San Antonio on draft night to try and have Cleveland move up in the draft. I mean, there are so many rumors around that. So, yeah, big money everywhere. The last contract I wanted to talk to you guys about, this very small, nowhere near these first two, but I wanted to kind of get your 2 cents on the Russell Westbrook to the Nuggets deal. That one was kind of expected. He was a part of a 3-team deal. Originally winded up with the Jazz. And then after he went to the Jazz officially, they had a contract buyout, and then he signs a 2-year, $6.8 million deal with the Nuggets. So a veteran guard going to Denver. I'm curious where he would play, mostly because Denver does lose Caldwell Pope, Nicholas Molik's favorite Denver Nugget. They lose him, but they have to try to rebuild it in some way. I don't know if Russ is the KCP role. I mean, that's not. He's never been that way. It's give me the ball, let me run the offense. Well, you got Jamal Murray, your franchise point guard, already sitting there doing that, and you have the best center in the NBA in Nikola Jokic. So it's kind of a hit or miss. Dravin, where are you feeling on this Russ deal? Is this a good veteran pickup? Does this add depth for them? Is that where it looks, or do you think maybe they could have gone elsewhere?
I think me and Jack kind of started touching on this last week, like the idea of how Westbrook necessarily fits into Denver. And I think it's that idea of the player he started to become in with the Clippers is much different than Brody. Brody was a 30, 12, and 12 every night. I need to score. Westbrook is with the Clippers, it became a lot more about hustle. He always had hustle, but he focused on that rather than being a scorer. He knew he wasn't the main scorer anymore. He knew he wasn't even really the main facilitator. He knew that was Harden. He still dished the ball out. He still hustled. He's still the greatest point, probably 1 or 2 rebounder of all time. I don't think anybody who ever played the 1 or 2 can rebound better than him. And that's what he's going to bring. I think what they'll do is they'll utilize him. I think they'll put him at the 1. I've always believed Jamal Murray to always be more of a natural 2. I don't think he's really a 1. I think he can play the 1. I don't think he's a 1. I think with the way he plays is a little bit more suited to work around. That's why he works so well with Jokic, because Jokic typically can play the 1. Now, if we have Westbrook take up the ball, take it up the court, let him get that first look. If nothing opens up, then I think we see Jokic come and take it over. Jokic works around the offense, and then we find a score. That's how I can kind of see the Nuggets kind of make something happen, if that makes sense.
No, yeah, it makes total sense. Mostly because you saw it in this last playoff run. Jamal Murray got hurt, and this wasn't like the main reason he was playing more off ball, but it added to it a little bit. Yeah. But they were trying to get him more off ball looks because they wanted to try to run the floor and get different looks through Jokic, maybe even through Michael Porter Jr., wrapping off of off ball screens, things like that. They just wanted to switch things up. I mean, Jack, how about you? I'm curious what you think where Russ fits in. Like you said, you guys kind of touched on it last week, but where are you sitting on this?
Yeah, what Dravin said, like Jamal Murray he does play, his play style is of a 2, but again, that is because they have Jokic at the 5 facilitating, so he doesn't really need to be pass first guy. He can just play his natural game, which is just scoring the ball. Westbrook doesn't start for me. I think they'll start Christian Brown at the 2, still keep Jamal Murray at the 1, let Westbrook run the bench, run the second unit, and then I'm sure he'll get time split with Jokic, with Murray, where he can be, just cutting like he was, like we were saying with the Clippers. He wasn't shooting the ball much. He was cutting, he was hustling, and that's what he'll do. But when the second unit is on and Jokic needs to sit for a couple minutes, Jamal Murray needs to sit for a couple minutes, Westbrook can be the guy that can come on and still facilitate, still make things happen for that team. And that is something that they actually have missed the last season. So obviously he's an upgrade from Reggie Jackson, I'll tell you that. So yeah,
I agree with that.
Yeah. Shout out Detroit Piston legend Reggie Jackson.
Now Philadelphia 76er hopeful. We'll see how long that lasts. But yeah, you guys make good point. you guys make good points. I mean, it's kind of a weird position because if Jamal Murray's not there, then Russ probably slides right in as the starting point guard, and there's no issues around it. I mean, it's like, all right, there you go. There's your spot. But yeah, Christian Brown probably going to get significant minutes coming up this year at the 2 guard spot. But at the same time, I could see them maybe testing it out where you have Russ and Jamal be the starting 2 guards, and have them kind of rotate in and out. And then Russ could hypothetically stay on the floor. And then you bring Christian Brown in off the bench in a second unit if you wanted to. But, only time will tell what the Denver Nuggets will do. But that'll do it for all these contract talks. It's getting a little quiet. We did have a New York Knicks sign. Prince Achua signed his 1-year deal to stay. What?
Precious.
Sorry, not Prince. Precious Achua is staying in New York. He signed his 1-year deal. So a little bit of veteran big man depth there in New York. But other than that, it's been relatively quiet. Not a bunch of big contracts. So the big thing we wanted to talk about tonight was the Team USA basketball. That is the main source of stuff going on right now. Our women's USA team is looking like they're going to cruise to another gold medal. And they're looking solid, as they should. They have a ton of veteran guards and a ton of depth on that team. But with the men's team, they have a lot of competition as we start to really kind of whittle it down into the qualifying groups. And we're in the last stages of the group play. So, guys, how are we feeling? Just first initial thoughts, Dravin. First initial thoughts on what you've seen so far from this Team USA team. 2-0 so far in their group, top of their group. What have you seen so far?
Kevin Durant's the greatest scorer to ever live. There is no debate anymore. I don't want to hear it. Kevin Durant is the greatest scorer to ever live. If we're talking pure skill of putting a basketball in a basketball hoop, Kevin Durant is untouched by any man in humanity, the history of humanity. 2, Curry needs the ball more. I think we are very underutilizing the greatest shooter of all time when the 3-point line is like 3 feet closer than it typically is. That is ridiculous. Take advantage of your strongest weapon at its absolute strongest potential. And 3, Kerr, you're doing a great job. Keep benching Joel and Tatum. They bring nothing. I wish I was kidding. Okay, Joel might bring a little bit of big man depth. Tatum, what does Tatum do that people on this team don't? Nothing. There is nothing that Tatum can do that anybody else on this team can. Not a single thing. He's not a better passer. He's not a better shooter. He's not a better rebounder. He's not even better all around. The best all around player on Team USA is still a 39-year-old LeBron. Jason Tatum is going to drop a triple-double of handing towels, handing Gatorade, and giving and moving down seats. And that is all he should keep doing. Joel Embiid, yeah, fine, big man. But if he starts crying when Moritz Wagner pushes him, don't complain. Don't ruin the thing for the entire U.S. I'm done.
See, the boss man, Tyler Lamb, would disagree with you. I think he seemed a little fired up that Tatum isn't getting more playing time. But then again, it's so weird.
Oh, I deserve respect. Oh, it's a humbling experience. I just got on the cover of NBA 2K, which nobody plays. I deserve respect. Bro, shut up. You're corny. Nobody cares. And you are not unique. You can't dunk better than Edwards. You can't shoot better than KD. You don't lead like LeBron. You don't defend like AD. You don't shoot like Curry. You don't pass like Tyrese. You are literally mid.
Hey, Tyrese ain't doing nothing either. Tyrese is getting about the same
Screw
amount.
Tyrese too. Tyrese hit my king with a chair on WWE Raw, I think. I don't know what that was. I don't watch wrestling. Yeah. I think can someone confirm that? Did he hit Jalen Brunson with a chair? I think
he did not hit him, but they had a stare down in the ring.
Okay.
I think
down my king in the ring. I don't care.
With the contracts they're on, I don't think they're legally allowed to throw chairs at each other.
Oh my god!
In a WWE ring.
In all seriousness, Jason Tatum doesn't deserve more minutes. He doesn't. He doesn't just deserve minutes for freaking.
Yeah.
Jack, how about you? I mean, I know how Dravin feels. I mean, this is going to be a week-to-week thing. If Joel Embiid gets any playing time, he's definitely going to want to try to talk about it. But, Jack, how are you feeling?
Well, I'm not that strongly opinionated about it. I'll say that, but yeah, obviously, Steve Kerr said that he didn't play for matchup reasons. They wanted to match up with the speed of South Sudan, which kind of does make sense to be fair. So I can see. I mean, 0 minutes is kind of crazy, but he'll probably be starting in the next game again. So he hasn't been awful, but he hasn't been spectacular. But again, this is a team of superstars. Like it's going to be very hard to stand out. Only LeBron and KD really have done that. As far as Jason Tatum, you're not wrong with what you're saying. Like he's not better at a particular skill than most people on the team, but that can also be said for everyone. Jason Tatum is one of those all around guys that if you got him on the court, he will be a threat doing anything, and especially his defensive versatility, I think, is his best component on this team. Like he can guard pretty much anyone that's on the court unless they're a 7-footer. And when we're talking about Olympics, well, obviously they're on the same team, but I'm saying from other teams. Like he does have real good one-on-one POA defense, and is a good help defender as well. So that is where he's valuable. Obviously, he is good at other things too, but just compared to other players. But yeah, there's a reason he's not getting too many minutes is because they have so much talent, and obviously LeBron and KD and Steph are going to get a lot of minutes. So there's just not a lot of room for a guy like him or Tyrese Halliburton or, Joel Embiid last game. So yeah, there's always going to be casualties to not getting enough minutes, but I'm sure they'll probably, flip every game.
No, yeah, for sure. And it's kind of a double-edged sword. It's like, all right, I have all these superstars that I have to try to, make use of,
Right.
but at the same time, if the other guys are going off, you don't necessarily have to use them. And that's just kind of where it's at. But the main identity, and I was reading an article about this, Steve Kerr said that the main identity of this team isn't even like their scoring ability and all that. It's their defense. They are just out hustling everybody on the other end, and they're getting more possessions out of it, easy possessions, and they don't necessarily have to use the bling and the blang of the offense that most of these guys possess. I mean, when you think about it, you have Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, and LeBron on the floor at the same time. Those are arguably three of the best scorers in all of their own way, and they're all playing at the same time. So you don't necessarily have to do everything great because these other guys can kind of back you up. So, yeah, this team is looking pretty good. Like I said, 2-0 in group play. They are finishing up group play tomorrow. They have Puerto Rico at 10:15 Central Standard Time. I don't know what time that is for you, Jack. I know you're completely different time zone. I mean, you're in New Zealand, so that could be late in the evening for you.
I have no idea, honestly.
You might be in bed. Jack might be in bed during that, but nonetheless, it's the last game for group play. Puerto Rico's 0-2, and so Team USA should probably win this game.
I don't know. Jose Alvarado might be due for a 90 piece. Be worried.
If Jose Alvarado scores 90 in an Olympic game, then he probably needs to be the number one man in New Orleans. Give him the money over Zion. I mean, man, there's no way. But quarterfinals starting up. South Sudan was the last game for Team USA. 103-86 victory for Team USA. So my next topic for you guys, I kind of wanted to run by you. Who do we think are the major threats that are left? I mean, Canada is sitting at 3-0 in their group, and then Germany and France are both sitting at 2-0. So again, lots of NBA talent spread across all three of those squads, especially Canada. Canada really surprising. I mean, Team USA looked great against them in the exhibition games, and now they're sitting at 3-0 in their group. So, Dravin, I'll kick it off with you here. Out of Canada, Germany, and France, who do you think is the biggest threat to this Team USA team as we move closer to qualifiers?
I think it's France. France is the home crowd, so they're obviously going to have a large amount of support. But that's not even the issue. We've known that the biggest weakness for this Team USA is the depth at the big man position and kind of just really having guys down there who are of size. Bam Adebayo is an incredible defender. He is 6'9". That means there is a, let's say, 7-inch height difference between him and Victor Wembanyama. Which, if he's the backup center and he's gonna have to do a Wemby, that's gonna be rough. And obviously, Bam is more than capable. He was great, but I think if any team could do it, it needs to be a team that can kind of annoy Team USA. I think that's France. France has guys who can who can get buckets. They have guys who can defend, and they can shut down the paint. With Gobert and Wembanyama, if they set up their defense correctly, they can shut down opposing teams' paint. And while we hope Curry, Edwards, other shooters can take away from that and go to shoot when need be, if any team could get on Team USA, I think it'd be France. I think they would have to catch them in an off game and catch them in a bad role. I think that's all it takes.
Okay, so a bad day and France could win the gold or at least take down Team USA, depending on how it would play out in qualifier. Jack, how about you? Who do you think is the bigger threat out of Canada, Germany, and France?
Well, mine's is Germany, but it's single game eliminations when it comes to the knockout rounds of Olympic basketball. So realistically, it only takes one bad game or one pop off game. We've seen Bruno Caboclo today drop 33 points and 18 rebounds on Japan. Yes, Rockets legend, Memphis legend in general, Brazil king.
Oh yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like it takes one game. Brazil should not be beating Japan, but they easily beat them. And Brazil's not going to beat the US. But if it's Germany, if Schroeder goes for 35, because they beat France today. Dennis Schroeder and Franz Wagner both dropped 26. That was a really good win, and I think that's the team for me. Canada obviously have a lot of NBA talent, but Germany has those guys like Olympic guys. They play Olympic basketball really well. Dennis Schroeder is obviously one of them. We've seen that last year at the FIBA World Cup. He was the MVP of that tournament when they won. So yeah, Germany's the answer for me. But again, teams like France and Canada, they just need to have, a one great game, and then anyone could do it realistically.
We know his negotiation skills suck in the U.S. Do you think they're better in Germany too? What?
Yeah,
he turned on like 20 million. Was it 21 million a year? Like 4 years, 84.
4 years, 80, something like that. Yeah.
He turned that down. He's like, I want a bigger deal, and then he got like $2 million a year from the Celtics. I think it was.
Yeah, he ended up signing like a 1 or 2 year deal for dirt nothing, and was like, no, this is better. And he hardly played for Boston. Or if he did, it was like chump minutes. It wasn't anything like crazy. And they ended up back in LA like 2 years later. So it wasn't. Whatever. But yeah, these teams are really starting to mold into real legitimate threats. I think all of us were kind of anticipating France to have this big run just because you had the combination of Gobert and Wembanyama down low, and everybody was excited to see Wembanyama in Olympic play. And then, Germany and Canada are just really, really intriguing. One, like Jack said, Germany has a ton of European basketball players that are tough, and they don't necessarily have like NBA resumes tied to their names. Some of them do, but they're just hard-nosed, grit and grind basketball players, and that's what makes them dangerous. And then you go and look at teams like Canada, who are chock full of NBA talent. Their starting five is, I'm pretty sure, all NBA guys. So they honestly have the best chance, at least in my eyes, just because, yeah, Team USA played pretty well against them in the exhibition game, but they've really kind of turned it around now that the games matter and they count for something. And I think they have the talent to do it. They just, like you guys said, have that one big game. And I think this Team USA team is very vulnerable in the fact that, yeah, if Kevin Durant and Steph Curry are not making everything, and then you got to turn to Devin Booker and others and put the pressure on them. Can they step up? It's a big question mark because this is a completely different ball game that you're talking about here. This isn't a Phoenix Suns playoff run. This is not a Miami Heat playoff run. Like, if you have to turn to Bam Adebayo, are you really going to feel 100% confident in your big men? Or if Anthony Davis has to be the answer for you, and Anthony Davis hasn't shot the three ball well in a year or two, I mean, it could really snowball quickly for these guys. So we'll see what happens. But like I said, 10:15 a.m. Central Standard Time tomorrow, USA and Puerto Rico for the last game of their group play. Team USA looking to stay undefeated. They've already qualified for the qualifiers. They're already in that. So a loss wouldn't necessarily hurt them in any way. They just wouldn't get the max amount of points in group play that they would want there. So that'll do it for that. But we're not done with the Team USA talk. We're going to close out the show here, and this debate could take a little bit. We're going to talk about the two Team USA teams in recent memory that are really worth comparing. Now, I say that and with a bit of grain of salt for this year's team because they haven't won anything yet. They wanted some group games, but this is the first time we've seen LeBron and Steph and KD and all them pair up on one team. That's why this is a big conversation. So I wanted to ask you guys, in a comparison thing, who would you rather take? Would you jump with the 2024 Team USA team, or would you turn back the clock and take the 2008 Redeem team? So which LeBron team would you rather take? If you had to put money on it, put your money where your mouth is and say, all right, I think they would beat that Team USA team, who would you go with? I mean, honestly, presenting both sides here is not going to hurt you, but I'm just curious what you guys think, because these are two very different teams, but they're also kind of similar because you have generational talent pairing up for the first time ever. So I'm curious. Dravin, who would you go with? Redeem team or the current team?
Sorry, I was looking back and forth at the rosters, and I was going too quickly, and I saw Tayshaun Prince on the 2008 men's roster, and I had to do a double take because I thought that said Torian Prince, and I was really confused. But I think
a little bit before his time,
just slightly. But I think it's interesting because first off, coaching wise, for 2008, it's Coach K, Syracuse legend Jim Boeheim, Nate McMillan, Pacers legend, and then Mike D'Antoni. Versus here, you obviously have Kerr, Mark Few, Tyronn Lue, and Eric Spoelstra. You can see that for 2008 immediately, those are college coaches that are heading it up. And then versus nowadays, it's now NBA coaches. Coach K ran it for so long, but that's, I think, a main thing. But the number one thing is 2008's much more defensive. They've got, obviously, Chris Paul. This was when people forget Chris Paul was a top 3 defensive point guard in the NBA at one point. He was elite at strap. Oh, 100%. You disagree, Jack?
No, I'm saying he was probably top 1.
Okay. And I mean, people forget. I mean, I don't know how well he would do against current Curry because I don't know if he could deal with all that running. I don't know how good 2008 Chris Paul is at cardio. I think you need somebody with a little bit more ball knowledge to know that. But just the idea that you have him, then you would have Kobe, who he was a great defender at his peak. He's only 29 during this. You still have prime Dwight Howard, who is probably the most underrated player. One of the most underrated players of all time. Prime Dwight Howard was a 3-time DPOY. He was consistent first team All NBA. He was elite. I think it just comes down to who has the better day, because I think this game could either be a 79-72 game that nobody wants to watch and 2008 wins it, or I think it could be a 105-92 2024 if 2024 comes out hot. I think it's literally just whoever wakes up on the better side of the bed.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I mean, just kind of a real quick. I mean, you already were talking a little bit about these roster comparisons. I mean, I'll just go down the list here. So this is for 2008 Redeem Team. Carlos Boozer, crazy. Jason Kidd, LeBron, Deron Williams, Michael Redd, Dwayne Wade, Kobe, Dwight Howard, Chris Bosh, Chris Paul, Tayshaun Prince, and Carmelo. And that is a prime Carmelo too. Anybody would say, no, you're crazy. Why on earth would you go against that team? But that's why we're having this debate, because then you flip it over to 2024. Bam Adebayo, Devin Booker, Steph Curry, Anthony Davis, Kevin Durant, Anthony Edwards, Joel Embiid, Tyrese Halliburton, Drew Holiday, LeBron, Tatum, Derek White. Now, granted, the star power of 08 is significantly more, because if you
sorry, but
no, go ahead.
Jason Kidd's 35.
But Jason Kidd's a bigger superstar at 35 than Drew Holiday or
would you
Derek
take a
White.
35-year-old Jason Kidd a year out from retirement over current Derek White?
No, but
wait, this isn't even a year out. He had like 4 more years. I forgot he was on 2011. But still, this is
he hadn't even won the title yet. But like when you think of like their like star power, you probably go 08, because it's like, all right, those are all like guys that were running the league. And Kobe Bryant comes in and is named captain over LeBron. And at the time, Kobe's in his prime, yes, absolutely, but so was LeBron. LeBron was in the midst of an insane playoff run. That was really about as good as it could get. So, same with Dwayne Wade. So these are two very, very stacked teams to try to compare. Jack, how about you? Who would you necessarily look towards picking in a matchup between these two?
Yeah, obviously it's hypothetical. I mean, are we playing in 2008 or are we playing in 2024? Because, obviously 3-point shooting is a much bigger deal now. And obviously I think this roster's much more designed to shoot the 3-point shot. Melo, great mid-range shooter, not a 3-point shooter. Dwayne Wade, not a 3-point shooter. LeBron wasn't a 3-point shooter at that time. Kobe wasn't really either, to be honest, even though he can knock them down, of course. That 2008 team is so nostalgic, though. Like the Melo, Dwayne Wade coming off the bench when Bron and Kobe started. That's just like an iconic team. I think this team probably does have the edge, just as far as if we're playing one game. Again, they do have more depth. But it's really a toss-up. So yeah, you could go either way. I wouldn't be mad at you, but I'd probably take 2024.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, this is very, very tough for me just because I'm the old head out of the group here. I mean, not saying that you guys don't know everything under the sun about that 08 group, but that's kind of the era of basketball I saw a little bit more. Now, granted, yes, I've seen everything currently, but the era that I grew used to was that 08 Redeem Team. I mean, seeing the Netflix documentary about the Redeem Team was nostalgic. Very, very cool. If you haven't seen that, go watch it. But
shout out
very. What's that?
Shout out Netflix. They need
Shout out Netflix.
Yeah, shout out Netflix. But was just very nostalgic, and it was like, oh wow. I mean, especially with Kobe being gone and everything, seeing some old footage of guys that aren't, most of them aren't playing anymore, and getting to see some of them back in their prime. Yeah, it brought back memories of that older style of the 2000s basketball. But yeah, I guess Jack, you bring up a good point. It depends what year they're in, because I mean, if you're telling Steph Curry to do a 3-point contest with anybody on that 08 team, Steph Curry's winning probably 9 out of 10 times.
I think Devin Booker wins 9 out of 10 times against
Exactly. Most of those guys, yeah, when they win almost every time. The one time being when if they're not trying or they blink one extra too many times, they miss a basket. I mean, that's really about it. But if you're talking about, all right, we're gonna beat you in the paint, I might go with 08. It just kind of depends. Anthony Davis is pretty tough down there, but he also has glass ankles and paper knees.
Like you
And
said, it's one game though. Are we banking on the guy in one game getting injured specifically? No.
yeah,
That's
no.
Unless it's Joel Embiid, then I allow it. But not Michael, not AD. Never AD.
Okay. Well, okay. What we'll have to do like a big time debate over who would win 1-on-1 if they're like injured or something like that. Joel Embiid or Anthony
If they're
Davis.
injured, what you mean like with the boot on?
Like they each have a rolled ankle and they have to try to win a 1-on-1 match. Who
Are they wearing like medical like gear? Are they both wearing boots?
Sure. Like who basically like they got to tie a hand behind the back. Who would win? I mean, I'm curious what you would say between that.
I think Joel would just kind of be wincing and asking for his bottle the entire time. So I don't think we could get a full game out of him.
Get about halfway through the matchup and then just done.
Joel went uppies. That's pretty much what I imagine would happen halfway through.
Oh my. Joel want uppies.
Yep.
Okay.
But I do have a question for you guys.
Yeah.
I picked up a couple of these because I figured as much as Olympic talk we could go about, I wanted your guys' thoughts on this. So one of the big things to do is start, bench, and cut. Give you 3 players. You're going to tell me who you're going to start, who you're going to bench, and you're going to cut. Sound good?
Yep. Let's do it.
All right. Number 1, we're going to start with point guards, and we're going to go down the line. Point guards. I'm giving you Trae Young. I'm giving you LaMelo Ball. And I'm giving you Jalen Brunson for this upcoming season.
Cutting LaMelo.
Cutting
And
LaMelo.
start Brunson, bench Trey. Yeah, straight away.
Interesting. I'd probably cut LaMelo. I'd cut LaMelo as well. Man, that's tough. I'll probably bench Trey and start Jalen Brunson just because Jalen Brunson tends to kind of do a little bit of everything more. Trey doesn't rebound nearly as well. Jalen Brunson's good for 3 or 4 boards every night. So I mean, adds a little bit more to the scheme of the team. So yeah, cut LaMelo. Same as Jack. Cut LaMelo, bench Trey, start Jalen.
Is this like a team dynamic, or is this like best player, second best player?
Pretty much just best player. I think it's just purely, we're being box score merchants. No eye test.
Okay.
If it's on a team, I probably wouldn't want Jalen Brunson and Trae Young because I need some sort of defense.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
My Glorious King plays a perfect defense. Don't get it twisted. All right. Now, shooting guards. What?
Karen.
That's what I thought. What if I put De'Aaron Fox in there? What if I put Fox instead of?
He wouldn't started. What are we doing?
Instead of Brunson. Well, yeah, instead of Brunson, I think.
Come on now.
All right.
That's on defense.
Shooting guards. I give you Tyler Hero. I give you DeJounte Murray. And I give you Tyrese Maxey for this upcoming season.
Tyrese
if they're
Maxey
all
starts.
playing the same amount of minutes.
Tyrese Maxey starts. DeJounte Murray and who?
Tyler Hero.
Tyler Hero. I'll bench DeJounte probably. Cut Tyler Hero, yeah.
I'm gonna flip it. All healthy. I'm assuming like they're like injuries,
We're not
nothing crazy. Okay, start Tyrese. I'm actually gonna bench Tyler Hero. I think he brings better 3-point shooting to the floor than DeJounte does, and then I cut DeJounte.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. That's interesting.
I think Tyler Hero just when he's healthy, he's probably scoring 20 a night. I don't know if DeJounte is scoring 20 a night like healthily and consistently.
I mean, does DeJounte Murray have a song with Jack Harlow named after him?
No. No.
I think that's a side
I
fact.
don't believe so. No. But DeJounte Murray, obviously, I mean, I see him as a much superior player to Tyler Hero. Tyler Hero is a good scorer, but that is all he's good at. You know, DeJounte Murray can play make, he can defend, he can still score. He'll give you
Hero
80.
can Hero can play make. He took over the one. He took over
Not
the
better
one in
than,
a couple
not
games.
better than DeJounte Murray. Not better than DeJounte Murray.
I think the big thing that puts DeJounte for me, like I would say DeJounte over Hero, and then Maxi one. I would say DeJounte just because of the defense. The defense is so key there, especially in a matchup where the other two guys aren't necessarily defensive minded or that great defensively. It really gives you a chance to like step it up, you know? And
Okay.
I think that's what he does.
Sure.
Now,
Wait, Dravin, who are you benching for point guards? Are you benching LaMelo?
no, I bench Trey.
Okay,
Oh, I mean, I cut Trey.
so you bench LaMelo?
Yeah.
Not true.
I think LaMelo has the potential
Yeah,
to
that's
do a lot more. I think plus he's much less of a liability defensively. He's not great defensively, but compared to Trey Young, he might as well be prime. He might as well be prime Tyson Chandler. Shout out. Like, yeah. By the way, shout out Anthony Morrow. Regardless,
You just
Oh,
throwing out old NBA
Well,
players.
don't make
then-
me bring Tabo Cephalosha into this.
Oh Lord,
That's
Tabo
not-
Cephalosha on 2K12 was untouchable.
Yeah.
Talk about that. We got to bring up Gerald Green too.
Yep,
Doesn't
confirmed
he only
for.
have like 9 fingers or something? Like he's missing a finger. Am I tripping?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, yes.
Now,
That'll be a good topic to talk about. best all time like 2K lineups of
it would be a good one.
just like
Ooh.
sleeper guys. I'm not talking 99 overall Kobe. You know,
Yeah, what you know about 2K17 Simbular from the Kings? Indian legend. Only Indian player to ever make the league. He was like 7'6".
An ass.
Oh, he was awful, yeah.
Yeah.
That's it
Yeah.
though. He's tall. Sim. Doing wonders for me back in middle school. Oh yeah? All
All
right.
right, who you got for small forwards?
Small forwards. The newest king, DeMar DeRozan. But I'll also give you Mikal Bridges, and I'm also going to give you the one and only Brandon Ingram. A lot of Pelicans.
Damn.
I know.
Tough list.
That's a good list. That's a good one.
Man.
I'll probably start Mikal. Strictly for his defense because he can still score.
That's a
And
great
DeMar and Brandon Ingram just defenders. You know, they're one-dimensional players at this stage of their careers. I could honestly start either bench either Ingram or DeRozan. I'm just gonna say DeMar because you know I'll get hated otherwise.
Any reason?
No, yeah, I'll hate myself if I don't say that.
You don't want to jinx the upcoming season for
Right.
your boy
Oh,
in
start, actually,
Sacramento. No, we get it.
Start DeMar. I don't get it.
I'm probably sitting in the same boat, but I'm gonna flip. I would start DeMar just because I still like what he brings offensively. And he still has a little bit defensively, not as much as Mikal Bridges, not even close. And Mikal obviously brings the longevity to it. He does not miss games, and that is ideal for somebody that you want in a starting forward. But I would start DeMar, bench Mikal for like 2 minutes, and then bring him back onto the floor. And then I would probably, this hurts to cut Brandon Ingram, but putting him in that group, I guess. I mean, Brandon Ingram's coming off a big injury, so I mean, if they were worried about that, maybe.
Now, for the power forwards, they all have they have something kind of in common. They're all very lanky, and that's kind of their whole thing. That's the only thing they really have in common. Now, we already brought him up once. We talked about him a lot earlier. We're going to bring Evan Mobley into the conversation. We're going to bring Lauri Markkanen into the conversation. And we're going to bring my personal GOAT, my king, Kristaps. I'm not doing that to Randall. Randall will get cut. But Kristaps. So between Kristaps, Markkanen, and Mobley, Who do you bench, start, and cut?
Mm.
Bench, start, bench, cut.
See, I don't really think of Kristaps as a 4.
He's a 4.
That's tough for
Definitely
me.
4.
That's tough. That's very tough. So you said Mobley, Markkanen, Kristaps.
Yup.
Was the 3?
I think regardless, I can't cut Kristaps because he's so good offensively and defensively, and then you got Evan Mobley and Markkanen who are, only one of those things each. Obviously, Mobley's great defensively, Larry Markkanen's offensively sensation. So I'd probably start Kristaps, I guess, and then it really depends what the rest of my team looks like. If I need defense, if I need shooting. But for the sake of, I'll just say to bench Evan Mobley.
Ooh,
Okay.
cutting Lord. Okay.
I mean, is this pre or post military duty Lowry Markkanen?
Oh my god.
Which Lowry are we talking about?
Forgot about that. Yeah.
Because
There's like photos of him in like the Finnish military.
yeah, I know. I mean, he only had to do it for like 6 months, and the Jazz are poo poo, and were done by end of March. So I mean, he had plenty of time to, fulfill that for his country. But I would probably go the same as Jack. I mean, if you're talking about just pure overall best player, no injuries, yeah, I think you have to start Kristaps. You have to put him in there. I mean, you saw what he did in the finals. When he gets on a heater, dude's hard to stop. He really is. And he has the defensive presence there too. I love Evan Mobley. I've been a big fan of Mobley for a long time, even back at USC. When he smoked my Kansas Jayhawks, big fan of him in the tournament. Him and his brother both were great. But Mobley just brings a little bit more to the floor, I think. Being that young guy, you can develop him into a better shooter than where you have him, and then cut Lowry, unfortunately, and Lowry would probably go sign somewhere for buku money after that. So I think he'd be fine.
I'm not gonna lie, I forgot Evan. I knew Evan Mobley had a brother, but I forgot. Is he even in the NBA anymore?
I don't think so. No.
Isaiah Mobley. He was in the G. He was playing in summer league.
Oh, good for him, I guess. Shout out Golden State Warriors preseason legend Kevin Knox. Dropping 31 for no reason. Where was this, Kevin, when you were at the Knicks?
His brother's at Arkansas now. He transferred from Kentucky to Arkansas. He followed Coach Calipari from Arkansas or from Kentucky to Arkansas.
I guess Kevin probably vouched for Calipari. It was like, yeah, go.
I'm sure.
Yeah. And now finally the centers. And I want you, because there's no shot. Me and Jack talked about how good Victor Wembanyama is going to be next year. We talked about the potential. I said he could realistically get to somewhere around like the 25, 12, and 5 stocks a night. Now for next year, who do you take? Victor Wembanyama, Bam Adebayo, and Domantas Sabonis.
Don't do Domantas like that, man. He's getting cut though. Yeah, he's getting cut. Yeah, I hate to say it, but next year, Wemby starting and Bam is on the bench. That's pretty easy, unfortunately.
I'm in the same boat. I mean, Wembanyama is going to be a perennial double-double guy and probably be up there all time in blocks and rebounds. I mean, you're not 7'5" for nothing. So, I mean, I definitely think he easily number one. Man, that's tough. I love Sabonis just because he reminds me a lot of Jokic, just not necessarily as keen on the playmaking. But yeah, I'll bench Bam just because he's much better shooter, better defensively, a little bit faster on the fast breaks. Can get boards and move down the floor faster. And then
how tall is Sabonis comparatively to Bam?
I think he's
6'8".
6'8".
No, 10. 10.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Sabonis. I was gonna. If he's not 7 foot, he's just under.
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
there's no way he's 7 foot.
No,
I think it's
yeah.
close to like 6'9", 6'10", and 7 foot.
I could. Yeah, I mean, I couldn't tell. I know he's definitely taller than Bam, but Bam's just a lot
Yeah, he's
faster
6'10".
and yeah,
16, yeah.
6'10".
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Unfortunately for Sabonis, I mean that's a
Yeah.
tough group to put a better shooting center and then superstar level player right out of basically high school, essentially. So I mean, that's tough. That's tough for Sabonis.
I did want to say this because I saw, first off, shout out Killian Hayes for signing with the Boston Celtics. I don't know how we didn't cover that. That was a major signing. The defending champions make a major rotation changeup, and we're not going to discuss it.
For killing for killing.
No, you're right. He's gonna be impacting those those Gatorade bottles getting out there quicker. Yeah.
He's going to be about as impactful as Ben Simmons on the Brooklyn Nets.
Don't you dare diss the franchise. The franchise. That's what they call him.
No way.
Speaking of which, you know who's on the French national team?
Evan Fournier.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But even more of a Knicks legend, Frank Ntilikina.
Yeah.
That's oh my god. It was like the French, oh my god, French defense. His nickname was like the Prime Minister of Defense or something stupid when he was with New York. Apparently he's like getting reps there. And he's like averaging 2 points a game in Charlotte. Good for him.
Ntilikina is another one of those guys that kind of sleepy good on 2K if you know how to use him in the Knicks offense.
No, he's not.
Whoa.
You gotta know how to use him.
Man, I'm a 17-year-old Knicks fan. I know I've had to endure all these god awful 76 overall Knicks teams on 2K. Man, you don't know how excited I was in 2K17. 2K17, we had Derrick Rose, NBA legend Courtney Lee, Carmelo Anthony, Kristaps Porzingis, and former Defensive Player of the Year Joakim Noah.
That's tough.
Still shooting around the world shots on that ball rotation.
Oh yeah, man. And then like Tim Hardaway was there too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, dude, my favorite like moment as a Knicks fan, probably it's of Tim Hardaway. You guys ever seen the clip where they're going down
crossed up by Kyrie?
No, I think it's oh my god, it's the Raptors. I think because it's Serge Ibaka who misses the shot, but somebody gets a steal. Raptors go flying down the court. Hardaway in the paint takes away the paint shot. Raptors kick it to Ibaka in the corner. As the camera pans down past the play, Stan Lee is T-posing for whatever reason on the sideline. And then Serge Ibaka shoots and misses it. But on the sideline, the ref ate shit. And what does Tim Hardaway do instead of defending Serge Ibaka? Safe.
That was
okay. I know what you're talking about now.
Yeah.
I appreciate you painting the picture out a little bit more. For I was like,
very detailed.
Context.
Oh my god, of course. I mean, are you guys rooting for? Are you guys voting for Bobby Portis in 2024? Have you seen this?
Yes. Yes.
No. This is Jack. Have you seen this?
No.
Oh my god.
Put out like he's posted like he's gonna actually like run for. Go down.
Vote me, Bobby Portis, for president of the United States.
Bobby
Portis. That's hilarious.
And I approve this message.
That's hilarious.
Yes.
Bobby Portis.
Maybe he's the hero we really need.
Wow. Well,
I was going to say, just before we end, we actually did miss one of the signings. Tyus Jones signed with Phoenix on a 1-year deal.
Yep.
He was in free agency for ages. That's a sick pickup for Phoenix.
That's an underrated signing.
Absolutely.
Yep. Good
Honestly,
veteran.
they should start him and have fucking Beal off the bench. I think that would work better.
They definitely should do that.
Yeah. Good veteran guard. Lots of run experience by now at this point.
Yeah, but he isn't.
Definitely
he's off, he doesn't need
very.
to
That kind of reminds me of like Cameron Payne being there. Just one of those guys that
Sure.
you're gonna give plenty of minutes and probably gonna score you about 10 a night if you get the right situation.
No shout
Yeah.
out to Campaign, but shout out to Campaign's handshakes.
Yeah. Elite.
Sure.
Him and
Sure.
Russell Westbrook forever the best handshake line in the NBA for sure. Well, gentlemen, what a way to end it there. Bobby POTUS, I guess, if that's a real thing. Team USA looking to take home the gold. Plenty of NBA extensions happening and plenty of basketball on the way as we continue to carve out through the summer months here. We are almost home. We are getting closer and closer to NBA 2K25 dropping as well. And then we're getting even closer. Yeah, Dravin's definitely
I'm
not
not playing
buying a
that.
pre-order.
I'm not playing that.
But if you're listening, Ronnie 2K, don't give Dravin a free copy. I got you. Just
Ronnie
give
2K, if
me
you're one of the
back.
25 people watching live right now,
Yeah.
I'll take a copy. I'll take a copy.
Yeah, he'll take a copy if you're watching. But
Yeah, no stadium rant enjoyer, Ronnie 2K.
exactly.
Big fan of us.
Yes.
He reached
Big
out to me.
supporter. Yeah. But other than that, thank you for tuning into the show. Make sure you tune in next week. Dravin and Jack will be back on the show with plenty more basketball stuff to talk about. Make sure to go check out stadiumrant.com for all of our written content, all of our shows that we got going on. Go buy some merchandise and just enjoy everything we got going on here at Stadium Rant. These two guys right here write incredible articles. They write great stuff. So go to support that. Go follow them on social medias. They got the tags below their names this week, which helps you. And you can go find them at those locations for any of their social media, really. And go check out all the stuff that they got going on. For Stadium Rant and for the putback, thank you again for tuning in. And as always, keep it classy, NBA basketball world.